Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. Who's Scamp? Well, of course, it's the son of Lady and the Tramp. It's Lady and the Tramp, the next generation, literally, in this sense. And we get in a whole all-new adventure. It is set probably within the last year or so since the last film, which came out in 1955. This came out in 2001, although the film itself at the end, the credit says 2000, but this says 2001, so I'll go by that. It is an hour and 17 minutes long. It's your normal romantic cartoon coming of age kind of thing, like it says right there. It's very much a sequel. It's very much keeping within the theme of the first one. It's dogs from different worlds coming together, the street dogs, or the junkyard dogs, or the pampered pets, and a whole new world just coming together. And which life is better? Which life do you really want? And is a question that's asked. So in this, Scamp, by the way, there's a few notes I have to make before I give you an overview of the story here. I kind of wish I would have watched this a few days ago, because it is very much set on the 4th of July. Yeah, it is set on July 4th. I don't know what year. It's early 1900s. So, yeah, it's set on the 4th of July because there's lots of fireworks and there's a big musical number at the beginning. People talking about just patriotism and stuff like that. America, independence. And welcome home, basically. It was also is kind of the theme of the opening song. Yes, it's a musical. There are lots of songs in this, and the music does keep to the kinder older era of Disney. It's definitely got that feel. So there's a bit of thematic continuity, even though the animation is very much more advanced. It's still hand-drawn, but there is a mixture of 3D elements, as Disney was starting to do more and more and injecting some 3D elements into their 2D films, like the dog catcher's car, and some physical, like three-dimensionally moving items, solid objects, are 3D, whereas the dogs, for the most part, are all just 2D hand-drawn type of characters, along with the backgrounds and things like that. So, what we get here is the son of Lady and the Tramp, Scamp, voiced by Scott Wolf, Party 5, among other things. He's a little kid, but he wants to get out. He's very rambunctious. He wants to get outside and run around, and they keep him in the house. He's a house dog. And he thinks that's a bad thing, and eventually some of the people he meets when he escapes think that's a bad thing too. And so they're on the same page, right? Well, we'll see. The really weird thing is that in the opening sequence where he shows that he's just trying to get out of the house, like they're closing windows. It's the middle of summer, or in the early 1900s. Yes, it's New England, but I'm betting you have money that there's no air conditioning in this era. Like, cars are barely functioning Model Ts, so yeah, there's no air conditioning just yet. So why are you closing the windows in the middle of July, except to make a point that, no, doggy, you cannot leave? Then, by the way, a few minutes later, he does. When he's forced to take a bath, he escapes and jumps out a window and rolls around in the mud and everything else, and then comes back through the doggy door. He's could have went out the doggy door this entire time. There's a doggy door. Just come and go. So yeah, that was pretty undermined immediately, pretty much. So at one point, yeah, he gets chained up outside, and he laments in song, and he sees a bunch of wild street junkyard dogs being chased by the dog pound guy. Which, why can't I say his name? It sounds like, but he's not credited. Three's Company, Apple Dumpling Gang, why can't I say his name? Mr. Furley. Come on. Anyway, it's going to come to me in the middle of it. It's something I know is part of my DNA, and I just cannot say his name right now. I was drawing a blank, and I don't see his name in the credits, which is weird. Anyway, Scamp breaks his chains a little bit, and he is able to meet up, hang out with this junkyard gang, which features a cute little pup by the name of Angel, voiced by Alyssa Milano, and they're led by Chaz Palminteri as Buster. Yeah, he's got a real junkyard dog type of voice. When you hear him, you're like, yeah, it works really well. And it's a ragtag group of various distinctly different types of dogs. There's even a French one that's played by Bronson Pinchot, I think. Mickey Rooney even shows up in this. By the way, this is directed by Daryl Rooney, which makes me think they could be related. I'm not sure. We get. By the way, Jodie Benson, the Little Mermaid, plays Darling. She plays Lady. Sorry, never mind. She's not one of the darlings. She plays Lady. The Little Mermaid plays Lady. She is another iconic role to put on her Disney, checklist. We get a lot of the classic voices. Jeff Bennett's in as Kathy Seuss. Debbie Derryberry. And Tress McNeil, Rob Paulson, it's Frank Welker, April Winchell, it's a lot of people. Oh yeah, Jess Harnell. So it's a big standard, the cast that you get with just about every animated Disney feature, but this is really just. You can rely. It's a solid cast no matter what. Anytime you see those names, you usually get to get great performances, whether the movie is good or not. And this movie is not going to surprise you by any means. There's going to be no big, giant twists that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. It's pretty much by the numbers. This is the point. It's 2001, so this is the era in which Disney said, hey, we're spending money on Pixar, and we're doing all that stuff over there, and we're about ready to, as we learned just the other day, that they were ready to start making Toy Story sequels and other stuff like that without the involvement of the Pixar people. And they were just like, hey, we've got a lot of IPs. Geez, still fireworks? We got a lot of IPs. Why don't we just make sequels to everything direct-to-video? Because direct-to-video was the big payoff market. This is not a thing that people would race to the theaters to see Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure, 46 years after the original film. No, nobody's going to necessarily do that. But throw it on a VHS tape and clamshell it and put it in Best Buy or Target or whatever, you're going to sell a boatload of them, between everything else that was stacked up in the electronics department at Walmart. So, you get basically Disney cashing in on making sequels to all of their original films. They did that with, we've watched a ton of them. They did it with Mulan and Little Mermaid and Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame and just about everything. It was, it's a money grab. And it was necessarily, quality isn't always top of mind, it seems, when they make a lot of these. This one, I can say that the animation is actually pretty solid. Yes, they're implementing a number of 3D things that are still look kind of newish, like little primitive, but it was new. It was new. Like sometimes that dog chaser car, dog pound car, not perfect, but in relation to 2001 in an animated film, that was pretty cool. It really pops out. But the 2D animation in this is actually really, really good for a straight-on 2D animated film. But again, the animation, the actors, everything is solid. The story is just not going to surprise you. Scamp runs away and joins the gang, and Angel's like, well, why do you? They find out that he used to be a pampered pet dog, a house dog, and they're like, oh no, and it turns out Buster has a beef with Tramp, and his dad, and what happens if they run into Tramp. Like Tramp is a persona non grata in this sense. So he's pretty much the last thing you want to do is be related to Tramp, because he's He's bad. He gave it all up for a pretty girl. Yeah. He was the coolest, but then he betrayed us. Well, guess what? Everything does get revealed in the end. Every secret Scamp has is revealed, of course. But again, this movie is not made for the discerning film critic, where you're just like, oh, it's not gonna, it's not gonna be a Criterion Collection be put out in this, and there's not gonna be midnight screenings, in this hoity-toity indie theater with the cast around. No, it's gonna be. This is made for children. It's a Disney film. So, yeah, the kids like the original one, and they like puppies, and they like just the silly, cute humor. Absolutely. The kids will love this. And if you're a fan of the original, you might like this. Nothing may never live up to a sequel, like putting out a Star Wars film for many people. There's no way you can ever make another Star Wars film that is going to live up to the 100% nostalgic quality of the original trilogy, or the original film in 1977. You can make the greatest film of all time, and it'll never live up to the original. In this case, for many Disney fans, you can make sequels out the wazoo every day of the week to their favorite Disney film, and yeah, it's never going to live up to it, even if it's 100% perfect on every angle. It's just the way it works. So you put out what you can, and hopefully it's done well enough that people like it. And here you go. I can't say that this is a must-watch because, again, story-wise, no surprises. I could have told you everything that was going to happen from the start. Even without watching a scene, I kind of want to write down, the next time I see one of these sequels, I kind of want to write down every single one of the story beats and then hold it up, and like seal it in an envelope and then hold it up. And there's no way you would know that I just didn't write it up afterwards. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's the kind of thing that, yeah, just go in this with low expectations story-wise, but it's you'll find there's a little bit of adventure, a little action between the dogs fighting, some chases and stuff like that, and yeah, you'll get that. No surprises. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
259.
259. It took a while to say it. 259. Okay. All right. We're back in documentary territory, and even it's another shark special. So, as I've said in the past, there's a lot of documentaries, and there's an awful lot of shark documentaries on Disney Plus. They're all coming from National Geographic for the most part. And honestly, if I took out all of the shark documentaries right now, we'd drop the total number of things to watch by 30. There's at least probably 30 different shark documentaries right now on Disney Plus that I haven't watched yet. There's even more that I have. So this is what we're going to watch. We're going to watch this one, but understand that if we get another in the same month, we're picking something else. And if we get 3 chosen at any point within this quarter, like even if I choose not to watch it, if 3 get picked, all get automatically denied for the rest of the quarter. I really should be burning through these things, but I also kind of hope they're going to start taking them away. It's not that I don't like sharks, it's just we don't need so much shark content. I know there's like some people, we don't need so much Star Wars content. Well, no, in my opinion, you do, but what are you going to do? Anyway, this is Most Wanted Sharks, despite what I just talked about. Not wanting more shark things. Most Wanted Sharks is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.